Storm, the Wind Rider, and Forge, the Maker, first met when Forge helped Storm recover from losing her mutant powers due to a device he inadvertently created. They developed a romantic relationship, with Forge providing emotional support during this challenging time. Their relationship hit a major obstacle when Storm discovered that Forge was responsible for creating the device that took away her powers. Feeling betrayed, she ended the relationship, leading to a period of estrangement and tension between the two. Despite their rocky history, Storm and Forge have managed to reconcile and work together on several occasions. They come to understand and respect each other's perspectives, and their bond deepens through shared experiences and mutual respect. When Kate Pryde's lifeless body was discovered, her resurrection was made a priority of the Five. The Five have tried multiple times to resurrect Kate, but none of her husk bodies appeared viable, as none stirred or broke out of their eggs. Emma Frost has been completely invested in Kate's resurrection. She has visited Arbor Magna often to check on the Five's progress. Today, she finds the Five discouraged by yet another failed attempt. Professor X tells Emma that, like the other 15 husks, this most recent body has also proved inviable. He assures Emma that the Five are going to try again in the morning, but he also confesses that they do not know what is wrong. Meanwhile, Storm busies herself by paying a visit to Forge about the return of his neutralizing technology in Russia. Krakoa, Port Genosha. Storm finds the Cheyenne tribal shaman only known as Forge at Krakoa's first official distillery, Port Genosha. For the past few weeks, Forge has been working with Heather Tucker, aka the Mutant Tempo, and Sebastian Shaw, the Black King of the Hellfire Trading Company, on a rapidly aged batch of whiskey. Shaw congratulates Tempo, whose mutant ability is to manipulate time in her immediate vicinity, on her ability to age his latest batch of Krakoan brand whiskey to 50 years after it was only newly made that same morning. Suddenly, he feels a chill in the air.
And now I will take my leave, as it seems you have another appointment.
The drop in temperature and the thundering sky signal Storm's arrival.
Forge, I would speak with you alone.
Shaw quickly makes his exit, with Tempo in tow.
What's wrong?
Storm's ex-fiancée notices her icy demeanor.
My goddaughter is dead. Catherine Pryde is dead.
I heard. I'm sorry, Aurora.
There is a moment of silence.
A group of Russians are making your old power-dampening weapons.
Storm tells him that it seems to be based on the technology he created for the U.S. government years ago. The same technology that stole her powers away from her.
Impossible. I deleted all the technical files about that project when I quit.
Are you sure you got everything?
Of course.
There is a moment of silence as the Maker and the Wind Rider stare at each other.
Well, actually...
Forge.
Forge hesitates.
Daniels, one of the engineers under me at the Department of Defense, did have a photographic memory.
Shit.
The Grove. The quiet council chambers.
I know the White Queen likes fashionably late entrances, but this is ridiculous. Where is she, Sophie?
The White Queen sends her regrets, but she won't be joining you today.
Sophie Cuckoo, one of Emma Frost's cloned daughters, briefs the Quiet Council on the power-neutralizing armor and weapons found in Russia. She also tells the council that Bishop has obtained intel about a boat being used as a factory for their manufacture. Lastly, Sophie informs the council that Forge's old colleague disappeared just after Xavier's global announcement about Krakoa.
Let's refer the matter to X-Force. Now, where is Emma?
Was I not clear? Emma and the Marauders have already sailed to war.
Magneto lifts his telepathy-blocking helmet so that he can relay his thoughts to Sophie privately.
Sophie.
Having already peered into his mind, Sophie joins Storm and Emma into the telepathic conversation.
Tell the White Queen to leave none to tell the tale. Show no mercy.
Of course, sir.
South Pacific. near the equator. The Marauders have found the Russian freighter at sea. Iceman, along with Storm, manifests an iceberg that lifts the ship completely out of the water. Suddenly, the Mercury, in the form of a flying saucer rather than its usual submarine configuration, appears in the sky above the ship. Bishop and Forge teleport down to the deck of the freighter and quickly rescue Forge's colleague Daniels, who is being held prisoner. Meanwhile, the White Queen and Pyro teleports below deck.
Freeze, mutants!
With a combination of her trademark sensuality and telepathy, the White Queen makes the men turn on one another.
It's always easy to control leering monkeys, Pyro, when they all have the same thought.
She and Pyro make their way to the bridge, where they find the White Queen's personal mercenary, Callisto, aka the White Knight, with blade in hand, has stopped the captain from initiating the ship's self-destruct sequence. Emma confiscates the weapon, which she telepathically confirms to be the first and only prototype of the mutant-inhibiting weaponry. The Marauders then gather the Russian crew on the deck and then beam them up to the Mercury, where the White Queen and the Cuckoos wipe the crew's minds of all memories from the last month and replace them with anti-discrimination and pro-mutant feelings. The Mercury then drops the Russian crew off in Moscow. They then return to the South Pacific and destroy the Russian freighter. Back on the beaches of Krakoa, Forge thanks Daniels for sabotaging the power dampeners so that they would work for a shorter amount of time.
It's a damn shame I made that gear all those years ago in the first place. You know about Storm and I, Daniels. I called you the night Henry Gyrick fired my power-neutralizing gun. It took her years to forgive me.
Yeah, and then you told me that you two had fallen in love after spending a year together as the only people in another dimension. The Windrider and the Maker. Then, before I knew it, you'd moved in with the X-Men and you two were engaged. Ah, the good old days.
Yeah, until I called it off before she could even answer. And before I knew it, she'd moved back to Africa and married the Black Panther. Well, anyway.
I can't go home, can I, Forge?
Sorry, Daniels. You cannot. It was good seeing you again, old friend.
Emma wipes his memories of his work, and Daniels is sent to Rio Verde, Arizona, to the Morlocks' Krakoan retirement community. The Five and Professor X stand over yet another failed attempt at resurrecting Kate. Egg tells Xavier that this is now their 17th attempt, and he does not think Kate can be brought back.
I'm afraid that I agree, Fabio. For now. Please, rest all of you. I will inform the White Queen and Storm of my decision.
My colleague Jeff Bannister gave me a heads up that evidently the Krakoa medicine flower thingies can be reworked into some kind of narcotic. I haven't seen any evidence from Hellfire Trading or Krakoa that would indicate the mutants have any part in the illicit activity. I do hope it doesn't become a problem that the import of those medicines